now. The Wrestling Federation of India has replied to the allegations that were raised and replied in a letter to the centre after they were asked to give that reply within 72 hours. Now, in that letter, they have said about the athletes who have levelled sexual harassment charges against the WFI chief have a hidden agenda. The protest is not in the best interest of wrestlers nor for promoting good wrestling in India, but it has some personal as well as a hidden agenda to dislodge the current fairest and strict management of the Wrestling Federation of India, and also by conspiracy to create such adverse atmosphere in public to create undue pressure is what the wrestling body has said in this letter to the Ministry of Youth Affairs. Let's go across to Osama now for more on this. And Osama, we had some of the biggest names, Vinesh Fogart, Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik, all of them sitting on this protest. The protest was finally called off after a committee has been assigned to look into all these allegations. But now this letter written by the Wrestling Federation which says there's some hidden agenda behind the protest.
Yeah, they have talked about a hidden agenda behind all these protests and they also have refuted all the claims of made by these protesters, especially all the wrestlers, against the Wrestling Federation of India President Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. The Wrestling Federation of India, they were given a 72-hour deadline by the Sports Authority of India to reply to all the allegations of sexual harassment, mental harassment and financial misappropriation that were made by these Indian wrestlers who were protesting at Jantar Mantar since Wednesday. The Federation has submitted its reply. And these are some of the key points that the Federation have made in their letter to the Sports Ministry. They say that the Wrestling Federation of India is managed by an elected body. Hence, there is no scope of arbitrariness and mismanagement. All information related to wrestlers' participation in national camps and international competitions are communicated via their website, and otherwise they also say that the WFI works in the best interest of wrestlers. It enhances image of wrestling, and it has enhanced the image of wrestling nationally and internationally, and there is a good record this good record is possible and has been possible because of fair, supportive and strict management by the Federation. It says that the WFI, it supports the wrestlers and it can't allow the whims of the wrestlers. And we have heard from Vinesh Fogart where she mentioned that she requested for kits, she requested for a physio. She was in fact banned after the Olympics. This is a reply to her claim where she was said where they had said that Vinesh Fogart was not supported, to which they have refuted. They also say that the management doesn't allow any undue acceptance of unreasonable requests from the wrestlers. This is in context to all the claims that Vinesh Fogart and the other wrestlers made. They go on to say that these protests, they can't be taken seriously. They also especially referred to the media protests that have been happening. The wrestlers, they have acted more in personal interest and are under undue pressure, and that there is a larger conspiracy to malign the management and especially the president of the Wrestling Federation of India.
This is quite a allegation to make, saying that they can't be taken seriously, and this was a very sordid affair. And for me, I don't follow sports so closely, but to see such big names in Indian wrestling coming out there at Jantar Mantar and protesting about this, nearly in tears and talking about the kind of harassment, it does take courage to come forward and and now to dismiss it in this manner. This is something that once again is going to lead to a reaction.
It is going to lead to a reaction, but it was expected, especially after what had happened over the past few days. The Wrestling Federation of India president coming out yesterday saying that right from the very beginning he had mentioned that he vehemently denied all these allegations. He had mentioned yesterday also that he wanted to do a press conference where he would explain everything. It was later shifted to 5 in the evening, and then it has now been shifted to the 22nd. They have been denying it, and we were expecting a reply on these lines. And this is what the Wrestling Federation of India has done, and
right.
It wasn't
also,
unexpected.
Sama, right, in the letter it says the sexual harassment panel is already in place, but if you see the names that are there, it includes Sakshi Malik, someone who has also been a part of these protests, and she's actually on that panel. Which
also brings us to the point where you see how what these names are capable of doing, because until and unless somebody who's a part of that committee, and if that person is coming out to protest, it does mean that the internal working and working of that particular committee is not substantial, and is the reason why somebody who is part of that committee had to come out on the streets and make and say all the things and make these allegations that they did. And it's not just one particular federation. Every federation, according to the National Sports Code, has to have a sexual harassment committee, which the Wrestling Federation of India also does. But keeping in mind the kind of what Vinesh Phogat and the rest of the wrestlers have alleged, that they could not go to these people because these are the people who have been tormenting them, who have been harassing them, and hence you can't go to the same people and complain, make those complaints, and is the reason why they had to come out on the streets and go public with this. But it also means that this is not going to end now, because after the Wrestling Federation of India's reply, and because they have vehemently denied all the charges and said that these protests are motivated, that these protests are being held keeping in mind the upcoming federation elections. It is going to invoke a reaction from these wrestlers and from all the people that are protesting at this point of time, right. And we do expect a reaction from the wrestlers and the rest.
All right, thanks so much, Osama. Let's just listen to what the Joint Secretary had to say.
देखिए, आरोप तो निराधार रहेंगे, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं, और 3-4 दिन हो गए उन्होंने कोई एविडेंस भी नहीं दी अभी तक। तो मैं भी 12 साल से इनसे जुड़ा हूं, मैं मेरे को आज तक तो ऐसा कुछ
किसी भी मुद्दे को, किसी भी जो भी हमारी दिखते हैं उस पे हम बातचीत करके बीच का रास्ता निकल सकता है, पर जो ये आरोप लगाया है सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट का, इसमें बीच का रास्ता नहीं होता। इसमें अगर ये चीजें हुई हैं तो उसकी जांच होनी चाहिए, आरोपी को सजा मिलनी चाहिए। इसमें कभी भी ये कंप्रोमाइज नहीं कर सकते, अगर कंप्रोमाइज करेंगे तो उसकी दिक्कतें बड़ी होती है। और अगर आरोप लगे हैं और आप ये झूठे हैं तो क्यों लगाए हैं, मकसद क्या है लगाने का? देखिए, भारतीय ओलंपिक समिति कमेटी है जो अपनी है, ये तैयार करेगी रिपोर्ट, पूरी रिपोर्ट बनाएंगे, और हमारा है कि जल्दी से जल्दी 8 या 10 दिन के अंदर ये पूरी दोनों पक्षों की बात सुन के क्या चीजें हैं क्या नहीं है, ये हम गृह मंत्रालय को भी भेजेंगे, खेल मंत्रालय को भी भेजेंगे और प्रधानमंत्री जी को भी भेजेंगे।